Oh, I see some people popping in to the comments. Comments are coming through. Good evening from Finland. That tells me I'm live. So I am going to come onto the camera. Hi, everyone. Cathy Zilski here. Welcome to my YouTube channel today and the first official installment of, wait, what is this one called? Cathy Makes a Card. Cathy Makes a Card. Now, I can see comments coming in here, and here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to recreate a card today that I already made. I'm going to talk you through. This is kind of casual. I'm going to, I'm going to riff a little. That's kind of what I do. And as I see you people popping in, it is nice to be able to have people from across the pond logging in tonight, your little dinner hour. Oh, and I'll turn off that sound because you'll hear all the pops coming through. Ah, the Netherlands. We've got folks coming in. Now here's the thing. I am going to try to peek over at comments from time to time. And at the end, when I'm done with the card, I'm definitely going to ask if you have any questions, and maybe we can pop some of them up because I can see you over there. Yeah. But I don't want to get too sidetracked because my goal is to keep this to less than an hour. But I'm excited to share this today because this is a card that I've already done. I've already created it, and I'm going to recreate it and hopefully give you a few things as we go that, I don't know, I just found really helpful for me because I am a firm believer in not writing creative checks that my body can't cash. Do you know what I'm saying? Because every time I try to do that and I end up with a hot mess, I don't have as much fun. And I want to have fun. I want to have fun when I craft. That's why I have been scrapbooking for so many years, and that's why I love card making, because I have a lot of fun. So, yes, I see Vicky, I see Robin, I see Michelle, all the way from Yorkshire. I promise I won't do an accent. Well, and Helen, I'm glad you made it here for the live. So, again, this is a little bonjour. Bonjour en Paris, je m'appelle Catherine. Okay, that we're going to stop right there. I am not multilingual. Je parle un peu de le français, but that's where we're going to stop there. Okay, I'm getting distracted. So here's what we're going to do. And again, the nice thing is too, because I don't have a set time limit for this, there's no 10-minute timer. I'm just going to go. And I'm going to do it. And, we might lose people. We might gain people. Who knows? Shall we go to the table view? Are we ready? Okay. All right. Now, I want to talk to you for just a second about this stamp set. Oh, and I'm in the little circle below. Every now and then that's why in the promo I had my face in the coffee. But I will say this, no coffee right now, LaCroix. It's noon and I felt like it was time to have refreshments of LaCroix. This stamp set is from Newton's Nook. This is a STAMPtember exclusive. Pick this up here, and what is this called? Pocket Full of Happy. All right, super cute little animals in the pockets. It's a very sweet sentiment. As you know, this is a STAMPtember exclusive, which means when these sell out, they're gone. But here's the cool thing about what I'm going to share with you today. Doesn't matter. You can do something like this with any stamp set. Now this stamp set, I believe also there's a stamp die combo. I don't have the dies. And so that's what inspired my card today. I made something without the dies and it's all gonna make sense. But, so I wanna share basic supplies. These are the basic supplies and everything is gonna be listed below the video as well. I've got links for you. And I also have my cardstocks here. I have some pink, which is cotton candy. I have 2 different weights of Neenah Solar White Classic Crest. I also have a stencil, and the one that I am going to use today, I am going to use this Stencil Patterns Trio. I designed these for Simon's Stamp. They are on reserve right now. Didn't realize these would sell so well, but they have. That's not a bad thing. And I'm going to be using this and a couple other things as we create this card. So you'll have to tell me at the end if this card that I make on camera turns out the same way. But here's the thing. I figured some things out when I was coming up with the design. I knew I wanted it to be really simple, as I am wont to do, but also creating limits actually really helps me when I am designing cards. So we're going to set this aside off camera and we are going to start the project. Now I'm going to move some things over here. Let's get some of these things out of the way, because what I want to start with today is the ink blending. So let's get our stencil and let's get our cardstock. Now for the ink blending, here's what I'm going to be doing today. I've got a US A2 panel, and for those of you who know what that size is, great. It is 4¼ inches wide by 5½ inches tall, which is coincidentally the size in the center of my mat. Now I realize my mat isn't really centered. Can I push it? Well, I can't move it for now. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to tape this down using some purple tape. Also, I gotta give a shout out. I don't know who told me about this thing. I don't have this linked below. I just realized that I forgot, but it's from Brutus Monroe. I guess they have a ginormous tape dispenser. Okay, I'm going to tape this down. Well, let's see. I don't want it to move. That's what I love about these stencils, okay? They're sized to be the same as the card panel. And so you know when you tape it down that it's going to be right in the center. Another thing that I really do love about these stencils, and maybe I will zoom in a little. Let's do the zoom in, shall we? You've got a little bit of margin space built in, right? Because you've got this whole thing around there, totally built in. That was on purpose because I like the margin on things. And so that's why I put it in there. Now let me grab a little scrap of paper here. Excuse me. Because here's what I'm going to do. I've got some, what is this, worn lipstick. All I'm going to do, I'm going to take one blender brush. This is a life-changing blender brush from Simon Says Stamp, and these are Picket Fence Studio. I got these at Simon. These are brush buddies, these little clips that I got from Make It by Marco, a company that I really enjoy. I'm going to ink this guy up, tap off a little, and the goal here is to hold my stencil down and just come in from one side. I want it to be a little darker over here, and I'm going to hold this, actually I'm going to turn it. I need to hold the stencil in place. And I'm just going to bring in my pink. And I'm just bringing in one color because I don't want it to be complicated. And I know if I use one color, I'm not going to mess it up. You know what I mean? All right, let's keep going here. I'm going to ink you up a little. Glancing over at comments. Okay, I can look up from time to time and see comments. I don't know if you're chatting. And actually, why am I suddenly so not chatty? Usually, I'm extremely chatty. But I love a simple pattern. So I'm getting my look here. Actually, that's looking good. So I'm going to keep coming out here, and I'm putting some pressure on the stencil just because I don't want to slip in between those little, the little slats. And I could have used Pixie spray. I don't know how many of you have ever used Pixie spray. It's awesome stuff, but I ran out. So Pixie spray will just hold your stencil in place. It's a low-tack adhesive that you can actually get multiple uses out of on a stencil. It's nice for really detailed stencils, but let's take a look. Do we think that's good? I think, see that? You got a little bit of light pink over here. I think that's going to be okay. Because part of what I want to have, a blend. All right, let's see here. And I want it to blend out to like nothing. And you know who's the master of that? I think you know. She's my sister from another mister, Miss Laura Basson. Girl has the ink blend down like nobody's business. Now I think this is going to be good, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check it. I reach for a tool here and try not to, if you could see what it looks like behind the scenes here, it's kind of hilarious. My table is a total hot mess. Well, let's just pick that up and see. Oh yeah, yep, I think that's great. Great, that's all I wanted. Okay, I'm gonna peel that off and I'm gonna set this aside. Step one, done. Okay, so what was simple about that? Well, literally one color ink. You don't always have to use more than one, right? That'll totally do. Okay, now it's time to stamp. Now here's my other tip that I discovered not the hard way, but I don't have the dies for this, so I am going to be fussy cutting my little character out. Let's get our Misty tool out here. Let's try to put it in the right. How's that? You know what? Maybe come up a little bit. Come back in here a little bit. There we go. All right, popping you in here like this. This cardstock right here, this is the Neenah Solar White Classic Crest 80 pound, not the 110. Now, normally, if I'm die cutting, I prefer to have the 110 pound because I love how sturdy it is. I love, well, that's just it. It's sturdy and thick. But when it comes to fussy cutting, I have better luck if it's a lighter weight cardstock. So there's no rule that says you have to die cut out of a heavier weight cardstock. I'm going to do 80 pound. So that's tip 1, a lighter cardstock for fussy cutting. But here's tip 2. This is what I did. I got these stamps because I got everything for STAMPtember because I work for Simon. And what I do when I get a new stamp set is I look at it and I pick the easiest image that I think I can have success with. I do this every single time I get a stamp set. And I realized that that is kind of my pattern. Like I'm looking here and I'm thinking dogs have more things going on. Cat has less things going on. Then I start looking at, is this easy to cut out or would this be easier to cut out? I make these really basic decisions up front based on how much I can predict my own success. So that is why I chose the kitty. Now you'll see some samples of this card if you visit Simon's website today. People make some amazing things. Things that I look at and I think to myself, I would never be able to do that in a million years. But I can do this. And what is this? Well, this is super simple. All right, let's get our ink. I'm going to be using Memento Tuxedo Black today because it's a Copic friendly ink. So I'll go ahead and ink that up. And I'm going to bring in my my Swiffer cloth. I like to do the slide and glide. Nice even pressure. Let's see what that impression looks like. That looks pretty good. I think I'm going to hit it one more time, like that. I'm going to tell you another thing that I do, and maybe some of you do this as well, but I always stamp extras. If I'm making a card, I'm going to stamp extras. Partly because I think it's nice to have extras, but if I'm being honest, it's because I make mistakes, and I love to have a backup. And so I want to do this. All right. Ink that up. All right, friends. Now tell me in the comments too. I've seen a few of you and where you're from, but where are you watching from today? I know I have a good chunk of folks from across the giant ocean that separates our countries. Okay. Well, let me know where you're watching from. I do see Lori from Maryland, Linda from New Jersey, and Jean from Phoenix. See, I can read comments and do things at the same time. Once I start coloring though, that is not going to be happening. All right, cleaned off my stamp. I'll just put this back on for now. And I want to talk about choosing colors for this little bit that I'm about to color, because let me put this back over here. Well, I'm rolling over things. Okay, so the way I picked colors for this was thinking about, what do I know I'm good at? I have a cat, and I know that cats can be gray. And guess what? I'm pretty good with gray markers. Now I know, I could get a little more adventurous, right? I could kind of step out of my comfort zone, but why would I do that? Why would I do that? There's no reason to do that. And so, I just noticed that comments are still coming through, and I had it set up completely wrong. Now I'm seeing people, Arizona, Mesa, Florida. Hey, Valerie. Okay, I'm getting all shiny now. Okay, I know that I can do grays, so that's what I'm doing. I pulled grays first because I thought I can do a gray cat. So we're starting with the gray cat, shall we? All right, let's get these in order, because for me that is warm gray 1, warm gray 0, warm gray 2, and warm gray 3. Now we're gonna start. Do I go 0 over the whole thing? I think that I do. Do you start with the darks or start with the lights? I don't even think it matters but I don't really know if I have a thing yet. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to do the broad tip. Now I will show you this really quick. If you've been watching any of my videos lately, oh, well that one doesn't even, I've been replacing the nibs, but apparently not on that nib. So, oh my gosh, I think I need a drink. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to start coloring, and I might get a little quiet here because, can you guys see that okay? Let's zoom in a little bit more. Oh, more people from Wales. Okay. Amanda, you start with lights. Start with light. Hey, Sylvie's there. Start with the darks. Now, see, this is the thing. I've done it both ways. And I think right now, oh yeah, guess what, Kath? You got to change those glasses. I want all of you to know I have a new prescription. Oh my gosh, these are filthy. Okay. I have a new prescription. I will be getting it filled soon, but let's start coloring. Okay. Time is money, friends. Okay. And actually, I should have cleaned my glasses before I started this. Wow, that is just, they are so dirty. But I guess, you know what? There's nothing I can do. So I'm just going to do this. Now, I actually think perhaps when I did this card originally, I didn't film a video because I thought, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know if it's going to be cute. I don't know if this will be good for new stamps now, what or not. And guess what, friends? I'm on fire. I knew it was going to happen. I'm sweating. Whew. Middle age. So when I did this initially, I think that I did start with the darks, because I've been watching my friend Callie Person, who creates the most amazing cards. And I've been watching Callie color, and Callie starts with the darks, and I feel like I'm learning a lot just from watching her. I'm reading. Dark, yeah, okay. You know, I'm learning, but I'm gonna go with the darkest now. I'm coming in here. That's my little nib. I've been changing out the Copic nibs. And Shelly, we're starting with W0, and now I'm jumping to W3. All right, and I can see you guys. Oh, another thing too, if there is a question that doesn't get answered today, you can always come back and leave it under comments, or hold it till the end, because I promise you, I'm going to answer questions, but while I'm coloring, if I want to stay in the lines, look at that. This is, did I do that on this? Yeah, I think I did, okay. This is why I love these tips. They are firmer than the brush, and they actually allow me a little bit more control. Not a lot, just a little. And I'm going to come like that. Come like that. I'm going to go over. Just going to do a little guy like that. I'm concentrating so hard. This is a first. I've never done live coloring. Oh, sure, I've filmed it on videos. Did I really want to go that far? No, I didn't. That's okay. That's all right. We're going to keep going. I'm looking at what I did, and now I cannot remember. So there. Okay, so we've got the first in there, and now, yeah, those little nibs are not cheap. Can't lie. Now I'm going to come in here with W2. I'm going to get a little bit more. A little more shading here. Ooh, this one feels a little dry. Like that. Okay, just a little. And I think I'm going to bring in a little W2 onto the paws. I don't know if that's what I did before. See, that's another thing with me and Copics. Yes, I'm getting a little more confident. Actually, I'm going to make them all W2 because, I don't know. I don't really understand light and shadow. Okay, let's get the W1. You know, I think I'm going to go brush tip with this guy. Okay. And let's just get a little bit like that. Okay, like that. Okay, there. There, that's it. That's all I'm doing. Now I'm going to come in here on the little body. That's, you know what? That's where I think I do need this little. There we go. I'm going to come in here with the body, color that in. True story. When I first started making cards in earnest in April of 2017, the first markers I bought were, let's see, W1, let's do W2. Let's get a little W2 in there. We're Copic grays, warm grays. Because I think I started out, I had a set, I'll color you in like that. I'll make that a little darker too. I started out with a set from Mama Elephant bunnies. I still have, it's pinned up to my board, one of the first things I ever colored with Copic markers. And this was the first thing that I decided to, oh, I don't think I have that, do I? Did I? No, I do have this one. This was the first thing I decided to amass because I thought if I can color elephants and bunnies, I think I'll be good. That's what I did. I'm gonna go like that, like that. So you can kind of see, right? I'm just adding a little bit. Nothing crazy. Oh, Joanne, I'm just peeking up, but yeah, even if you guys weren't here, guess what? Guess who'd still be talking? All right, I'm gonna add a little shading over here too. All right, just, you know, just a little. I don't really know what I did on the feet. I'm just peeking up here. Okay, and let's see. Let's get a little of that W2. I lost my train of thought. It's because I've never done this before. Oh, right. Now we've got our grays. I think that looks pretty good, right? It's got a little shadowing there. It's got a little shading in his face. Probably not as good as the original shading I did. In fact, let's get 0 here. I'm just going to come back over here to try to blend that a little bit better because I feel like that's not great, but I don't want to go over the nose. Is that better? A little bit better? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, you can see I'm not one of those masters, right? But let's get our pinks in here now. 1, 2, and a 3. Now I think, oh, that isn't R20. Now I need to grab a little scrap of paper. I do this a lot when I'm working on stuff, just in case I'm like, I don't know which one I'm using. Is that the one? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we're gonna start next on the ears. Oh, not that side. Let's come in here. I'm gonna give his little nose pink, just a little. And then I'm just gonna color in a little pink on the ears. Pinks were the other color that I moved on to after the grays, because elephants, you know, they have pink and again, simple, right? All right. But I'm just adding a little shadowing inside the ears, like that. But I still am not super confident with my pinks, and I'm not sure how to get over that. I guess just more practice. But you know, over my shoulder I have these bins full of Copics, and you know, I've got quite a few. All right, hold on a second. I got to take a deep breath because I'm going to put little. Did I put little cheeks? I did. Ready? Cheek and cheek. All right, I just wanted him to have little cheeks like that. Super simple. Maybe not perfectly symmetrical. We are moving on. Now, here's the fun part that I want to show you, and I will explain it like this. I have these 2 markers. I don't have a ton of blues, but I wanted something that looked like denim. Okay, and how did I do that? Well, I want to show you this, and I did link this video below. I have created a swatch ring of all of my Copic markers. Is this in any sort of order that makes sense other than color family? No, it's not. There's no rhyme or reason. I have the Sandy Allnock hex chart, which is awesome. I don't understand how it works. And so what I decided to do was get started on creating a swatch ring. Super simple, right? This is just what I have. If something, like if I get a new G marker, I'll just paint, you know, add it to here. I used this waffle flower swatching dies, and I love this, the whole set of waffle flower swatching things. I'm not really calling them what they are. But what I needed to do was I needed to find a color that looked like denim. So what I found here was, let's see, B95. I mean, if I had looked at that and didn't know, that doesn't look anything like denim. You know what I mean? So that I knew was good. And then the other one I got was B26. So I knew that's a little darker and that looks like denim. And that is how I figured out my denim. And I'm just going to say, I think that looks pretty good. So let's see if we can recreate it, because this is an instance where I did start with my darker shade. Okay. Oh my, see, look at that. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with this darker shade. And honestly, this darker shade, or no, this is not the darker shade. This is the lighter shade. This shade in and of itself, I think looks like denim. I don't even think, you know, technically, I gotta go slow here. You wouldn't even need to go in with the darker shade because I think this is such a great blue for denim. Let's go slow. Come on now. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, sometimes when I'm live, I forget to keep it in the camera. I think you can see it. And then I just want to whisper. I don't want to talk real loud when I'm getting close to the edges. I do have a colorless blender handy. How many of you keep one of those in your stash? Because, friends, I'm telling you, the erase factor of a colorless blender is amazing. Okay. Coloring it in. Look how simple this is. Do you see why? This is very simple. Gray, a little bit of pink and blue. But look at that. Cute, right? Ah, okay. Now, here's the thing. This color here, yeah, okay, we'll go like this. You know, this is a really nice blue too, and I thought to myself, yes, you could leave it like this, but let's go in. Let's go in a little. All right, so we're going to come in here on the side. We're just going to kind of bring it out a little bit like that. How far did I go over on this? Not too far. All right, like that. Like that. And then I'm just going to kind of flick a little like that. Now, I don't know, did I mess it up? No, I don't think so, because then, you know, just go like that. I think these blend really well. I don't have a lot of blue markers. Blue is like the bees. I think that is probably my least marker. Let's do the little tip to tip. Learned that from Christina Warner. You know, I think that's good, right? It doesn't need to be any fancier than that. And that, my friends, I have just created an acid wash. Who doesn't remember acid wash? I'm going to tell you the truth. I never did get into the acid wash. Acid wash was not my jam. I'm proud of that. All right. Where are we at on time? Oh my goodness, a half an hour. See, this is why. All right, we're moving along. Now, here we go. Pretty cute, right? I mean, it's nothing, you know, it's not going to win any awards. And yes, Nancy, are you telling other people about the hex chart? You can purchase that from Sandy. And maybe one day I'll just message her and say, Sandy, can you tell me how this works? Because honestly, this, for someone who doesn't really care much about blending, that's a good deal. Okay, so now it's time to fussy cut. Oh, this is where I really wish I could just pause and not talk. And I'm going to try to keep this in camera when I do this. But here's what I like to do. I like to cut some of the excess off. Having a nice sharp pair of scissors is critical for this, right? And what I have learned about fussy cutting, you try to turn the paper, not the scissors. Does that make sense? Okay, another reason I chose this image is the straight edges, right? I mean, how can you, well, let's never say never. When there's something with straight edges, it's going to be a little easier to cut. Again, that was my choice. Although the pockets, no, see, I'll tell you, because look at this. The pockets on the other guys have a little more going on. So that's why I did this too. All right, I need some liquid. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to start cutting. So what I like to do, let's get a little bit closer. I want it to be, you know, I don't know, as close to, what do you say, a die? As close to a die. Oh, hey, Daniel's here. Hi, Daniel. My German friends. Laura Basson, you should be here because these are your people. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scoot up to the table a little. I'm going to belly up to the bar. And I'm going to cut. Now, you could do the nice rounded thing. I'm not going to do that. I'm lining it up. And cutting. And look at that. It's not bad. It's not perfect, right? But the thing about fussy cutting is people don't really notice. I mean, unless you're really looking. Yes, isn't it, Yvonne? This is an image that even someone, well, let's see, come on, Cathy, even someone like yours truly. And I'm going to tell you another story. So I started scrapbooking in 2003. Never thought I would scrapbook. I mean, come on, I was like way too cool for scrapbooking. I was like, you know, I was a graphic designer. Why would I scrapbook? That's not design. And then I walked into a scrapbooking store, and some of you out there will know the store. It was a chain called Archivers. Also, just want to point out, I am turning the paper and not the scissors. Oh my gosh, I feel like I can't see and I barely can breathe right now. I'm so nervous. I'm getting a little wide there. That's okay. Anyway, I walked into an Archivers store. My mind was blown, and long story short, I'm here with you today. Literally, I don't think I would have become a crafter, and yet here I am. What was the point to the story? Oh yeah, there was one. Okay, let's go over your little ear, and let's just make it a clean cut because I need a break. Oh, sweet Lord. Okay, and here's another thing too. So you can see it's not great, so I can actually just kind of clean it up if you're careful, and I'm careful. Oh, come on, get a little look there. You can kind of clean up where you went. Fussy cutting was not something that I knew about. Like, I didn't know people did this thing. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's a thing, and I'm getting better at it. But the 80-pound paper is going to make it easier to cut. Now, the sample card that I did, that you see that I showed you in the beginning, I did do that in the 110 pound, and it was just a little harder to cut. Oh, I'm getting a little too close now. But again, nobody's going to be bringing out the Fussy Cut police, because see, that's a little closer than I wanted it to be. That's okay. Oh yeah, Jennifer, Scan and Cut. Now I have watched that. Speaking of Daniels that I know, I watched Daniel. Was it Daniel West? I think has one. I'm pretty sure. And I watched him use it, and I thought, yeah, that is pretty cool. And that would be cool. I like to think that this is helping my brain stay sharp. You know what I mean? Like by having my skills not being, well, I'm enhancing my brain power by doing this. All right, let's come over here. Get a little like that. We are almost done. We are almost done with the fussy cutting. I'm on the home stretch. Okay, that's pretty good. So that is my little colored fussy cut kitty. Oh, I did it. Did someone just give a thumbs down? Oh my gosh. Totally fine. Namaste. Okay, now, that is always a funny thing, but you know what? You're just going to get that on the YouTube. You're going to get that. Now, here's what we're going to do next. I am going to grab some foam squares. Where are you, foam squares? I'm going to pop this up. All right. When you see the thumbs down float through, it's just depressing. But again, I welcome any and all. Where did I put my, oh, okay, here we go. All right, it's time for the greeting. It's so funny, I can see my neighbor, he just went outside of his house. He just went outside of his house to do some gardening because my window is right there. Now, why am I doing this in this order? Well, because I'm going to be die cutting a little bit. Actually, let's turn it this way. I'm going to be die cutting a little bit, and I want to make sure that I get the benefit of the flatten out. All right, I'll put you right about there. I'm going to grab a sentiment, and the one that I wanted to use was "Thanks for spoiling me." All right, let's pull that out. All right, let's see here. Oh, we got 388 people watching. Hey, I'm really glad you chose to join me for lunch. Okay. I want to put this down here because in my mind, this little area, right? This little area, I'm breaking it into thirds. Well, okay, I'm breaking it into half, and I want this to be in the lower half, because I thought that would be visually appealing. Oh, Shelly, I love your perspective. I think it's just because people don't like it. Oh, sweet friends. Okay, okay, here we go. I think that looks straight. Does that look straight to you? Yeah, we're gonna go for it. All right, gonna pick it up with the Misty Door like that. And I am going to, I'm gonna turn it now because now I can, you know which way I'm going. I can take the kitty out of here. I'm going to get my embossing magic. All right. Now, dye ink that I have blended with, right? That's the distress ink. It's totally dry. I don't have to worry too much about this, but I always like to powder it up. I'm going to be using my Simon Says Stamp Clear Embossing Ink. Ink U. Let's see, 1235. Also, when this is done, I'm going to go back and read your conversation because you guys are sharing good stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm only going to hit this once though. I think that's going to be just fine. Here we go. And let's press. Nice even pressure like that. I think that's enough. Do I want to hit it twice? No, this is fine. Because I don't want to press it too hard, but I don't want to press it not hard enough. Okay, picking you up, getting you out. I'm going to grab the clothespin. And yes, I learned that tip, get out of there, from my sweet friend Gina K. Gina K Designs, Stamp TV, one of the best channels out there. And I never looked back. So if you don't want your fingers burned, grab this guy. Okay. All right, let's sprinkle on. Oh, this is Simon Says Stamp Antique Gold. I am obsessed with this color. Well, last year for the holidays I was, and this year again. It's just, I don't know, it's a very warm gold. It's not tinny, it's just super warm. See that like that? Oh, that looks really good. Okay, we're gonna filter you back in and tap, tap, tap. Now, is my heat tool nearby? I hope so. I have so few outlets in this house, friends, and that's what you get with a house built in 1919. Okay, I'm just gonna give a little blow, gonna look there. Always check for those errant flakes. Now I see a few. Get that off. Blow. The thing is I feel like they really show up. Oh, wooden toast tongs. Hey, that's a great idea too. All right, I'm gonna get my heat tool. I'm gonna, oh my, hold on. I gotta lift it up from behind my lights. I have lights here. I've disappeared out of the window. Oh, here we go. All right. So professional here in the craft / dining room. Okay, turning it on. And of course, we're gonna let it heat up a little bit before bringing it to the paper. Yeah, the antique gold is a gorgeous color. So, shall we? Ready? And, oh my. You know what? I see more powder. See, this is the thing. You have to be very careful. Now, I am a perfectionist, I can't lie, but also I think simple, the mistakes show up, you know what I mean? All right, here we go. And let's melt it. Oh. Gorgeous. That is gorgeous. I wish I had an accent. I bet to some of you I do. Look at that. Nice little shine. Okay. Now here's the fun part. We are nailing it. Let's zoom in a little more. Here's the fun part. I'm going to grab one of my favorite dies. This is the Waffle Flower A2 Layers die. I love it. And I feel like this has changed my crafting life, but let me see here. Which one did I do? Is it that one? I want to make sure I have the right size. Yep, that's the one. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim a panel down. Now there's a benefit of doing this after you do your embossing. If you get some warpage, and you can see, got a little bit of warpage there, right? The heat gun crystal is the Wagner embossing tool, and I will have that also linked underneath. Okay. Now here's what we're going to do. If you do the die cutting of your panel after, you can run it through and you get the benefit of flattening it out a little. Let's see, I'm gonna use my camera here. Let's see, does that look straight? I'm just trying to preserve a nice little bit of margin on all sides while also glancing at your comments. I think that's pretty good. Forgive me for just a second. I'm going to stand up. Oh, don't pull your mic out, Cathy. I'm going to look over the top because sometimes I can't see as well when I'm sitting down. All right, I'm going to tape this down like that. And I'm going to tape it down on this side. I just don't want it to move because, again, simple things, right? Now, I'm going to grab, I recently got a Gemini Junior, but it is not turned on, and I would have to leave the video for too long to get it. So here's what we're gonna do, friends. We are gonna die cut this with the manual machine that I love, which is, oh, well, let's get it turned around here. Let's pan out a little so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Now I did just buy a Gemini Junior, and I am so in love with it, but it's not turned on and it's not right next to me. So let's just do the classic die cut. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. Okay, and I do love this machine. I just have some issues with my wrists, and so having that electric die cutter, or die cutting, electric, is it? Not electronic. It's just going to be really nice. Oh, hey, Bug Scott. All right, we're going to go through here. And again, the benefit of this is it helps to flatten as it goes through. So I like that, okay? Now, if I had more time, which I don't because we're doing a live, I would pop that in a book and stick it under something heavy, which is something that I just do. I do that a lot because, you know, oftentimes I'm working on a couple different things at once, and so you can do that. You can flatten it out that way. So let's get you out of the way. All right. Oh my, 145. Yeah, it takes me a little longer. It takes me a little longer than I thought. All right, let's zoom in. All right, coming back. We're coming back. Okay, let's do a couple things first. Let's make a card base real quick, shall we? Oh my goodness, all the stuff, all the stuff. All right. So my card base today is going to be on Simon Says Stamp Cotton Candy. Yeah, I can fit that in here. And I've got this here. I'm going to score it right at 4 1/4 because this is going to be a landscape orientation. I'll fold that down. I have 2 bone folders. One is the Simon Teflon one. And yes, someone asked me the other day, they said, don't you get marks by doing it on there? No, I never do. It looks fine. But I don't want you to worry. It's all going to work. I also like to tape card bases closed. Why do I do this? Well, you can see how that pops, well, see how it pops open? I like things to stay flat, and so I tape them closed, and then when I take that tape out, I just keep it and I use it again. So let's pop this right in the center, and now we're almost done. We're going to build the card. I'm going to grab my big old tape roll. Ah, this is a big, beautiful thing. I do buy the big Mama tape roll because I enjoy the popped up life. I'm all about that popped up life. Let's see here. Did I get that too big? Another thing that's kind of nice about this tape runner, or not tape runner, about this tape, it will help to flatten your piece out if there is a little warpage. It's very sticky. Okay. Oh, did I get that too big? You know what? I'm going to save that and use that for my kitty. Pop you over here. Okay. Let's go like that. Pop you right in the center. Okay. And let's get one more piece. All right. And yes, I don't know. I'm hoping the Newton stamps are still in stock, but as you know, STAMPtember. Did you catch my song? Oh, a craft with Cathy where you would do things along with me. You know, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be fun to have, like, yeah, some sort of, I don't know, pre-done sentiments? Oh, look at that. That is so good. Okay, sorry. Made me sound like I thought I was really good, but you know what? When something is working, I do get a little geeked out about it. Okay, I'm going to put this little piece of foam tape on the back here. I'm going to put this little guy here. I'm going to take the piece that I cut away. See, waste not, want not. Okay, and I actually think it would be nice to take a little piece, just tiny, like that, cut a little guy. You know what I like to use for this, friends? I like to use a craft pick, because when I do, I can pick it up with the craft pick like that, and then I can see what I'm doing. Actually, let's put you out here. I think it might be too long. Is that too long? No, not really. I feel like the tail needs a little help. Is that gonna work? Oh, it's gonna work. Okay, I'm getting there, getting excited. And I need another drink. I do get excited. I still think this is so much fun. Like, maybe some of you know this or not, but Jennifer McGuire has been a friend of mine for a long time. We just go way back. We go way back to scrapbooking. And she told me for years, you should make cards. I'm like, there, Jennifer. You're a funny one. And now look at me. Turns out she was right. So I've learned a lesson in my middle age. Never doubt Jennifer McGuire. Okay, now it's time to pop it up right on the panel. Oh, I'm running over my thing again. I'm gonna just stand up here and look straight down. And what I like to do is I just glance at all four corners. I go very slowly, take a breath, and press. Now, you all know me, or maybe you don't, but I am a fan of the margin that frames my card. Especially if you're just popping one layer up, I think what this does is it invites white space into your piece. It creates a frame. You can add whatever color cardstock as a base, and that margin is so wonderful. It doesn't matter what size card you have, 5x7, slimline. I love margins. So that is why I do it. I don't do a ton of cards that don't have margins. In fact, when I do a panel that's full size, I feel really proud of myself for breaking out of my box. All right, I'm getting this up here. And next, when I finish this too, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have as we have our little chat time. Let's get you up there. Don't pull it off. Okay, where are my tweezers? I do like these reverse tweezers. When I first started making cards, you know, I spent a lot of time on Jennifer McGuire and Christina Werner's channel because I'm like, what do they use? Why do they have these things? And I have to say, after the initial investment of all the things, I use all the things. Okay, now Kitty. Now here's what I don't want to do. Oh, I'm rolling over my microphone. I'm gonna stand up here for a second, because on the other card that I didn't quite split the line that I wanted to split perfectly. Let me see if I can do it on this one. Well, see, I'm trying to get it top to bottom. I probably should have put a little liquid adhesive on that. Oh, that's cute though, right? Okay, and that, my friends, is the finished card project. So simple. Again, let us recap, shall we? The reason I like taking a simple approach is that I start out with something I know I can do. I take a very simplified approach to the overall design. This design balance formula, if you will, is asymmetrical, right? We have a little bit more going on one side, and what's happening on the other side is not an exact mirror image. So the balance is asymmetrical. But even when you have something that isn't like even Steven from side to side, little touches like this common margin and then this even margin framing everything just kind of holds it all together. And if we're looking at the original, I mean, I don't know. Which one was, well, now I can barely tell. No, that's the original, right? Oh, I went a little higher with the sentiment there. Okay. Even Steven. So that's, oh, and I actually, that's why it looks different. I did the stencil differently. You see, you don't know. You don't know what you're doing half the time. But that is the finished card project and the very first Cathy Makes a Card. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to hello. Oh my, I look a little, see, when I start out the video, I look really fresh. By the time it's over, I'm like, I'm all sweaty. I'm all nervous, but I think that turned out fairly well. Now, if you have any questions, let's get here. By all means, by all means, let me know. I'm going to take a peek here. Also, I want to show you something that I'm using today. What is this? I don't know if it's going to focus. I don't think it is. The Buxom. This is a really cool lip gloss that my friend told me about. It makes your lips go numb. So I got that going for me. All right. Well, I want to thank all of you for joining. Now we have more people than when I started, so that's pretty awesome. And yeah, Jen, I try to, bring in a little design theory to everything I do because that's the thing. I actually know that stuff. But what's happening right now for me as a card maker is I'm getting more confident with understanding what I am doing in videos, in talking about things, and also understanding how when I set limits for myself, I have more success. And when I have more success with things that I create, there's more joy. You know what I mean? Like joy. Like when I'm doing videos, especially my new Stamps Now What series, the fun that I have in those videos when I have completed the project, that's a joy that I want for all of you. Do you know what I'm saying? I want people to create and feel confident and feel good, not do that whole write that big check that you can't cash yet. Start slow, start small, and then build up from there once you have success. So yeah, Kathleen, it is Amy Hathaway. It is Plumping Lip Gloss. So are there any questions that I can answer before I sign off for this live today? I'm going to peek over here. I'm looking at the comments. Oh, Debbie Whitmore. I will answer that. Let's see. How do I get that up there like this? Yes. Okay. Debbie Whitmore asks, do I usually buy stamps with dies or without? My preference is always to go with the dies. Now, I work for Simon Says Stamp. I design for them. So if I design a set, once they get made, they send them to me. So I'm used to working with dies, but for STAMPtember, all of the STAMPtember releases, I only got one die set, and that was for the Lawn Fawn exclusive that sold out in like 5 minutes. That was awesome. But everything else that I have created so far, I have not had the dies. And so I think that has actually been challenging for me. And it has actually pushed me to be more intentionally creative with what I'm doing. And that has been a shock. Like the fact that I've made cards and fussy cut the crap out of things. Thanks for your question, Debbie. All right. And yes, thank you so much. Okay, and Jean buys without. I know that people love their brother scan and cut. I don't think I have room for something like that because as you can see, you can see over my shoulder. Wait, where is it? See that little guy right there? That's where my Gemini is. Love it. Do I ever get, I'm going to put this up, Amanda, because this is a good question too. Let's pop you down. Do I ever get lines from the cutting plates on my work after I die cut? Yes. And do you know what it means when that happens? It means you have to replace your plates. So it does happen. I've been very, not to use the word intentional again, but I replace my plates, especially with my Spellbinders machine. I don't go on and on and on. I take that on as an expense for my crafting. So when the lines start showing up, that means you have too much going on in your plates, and we replace them. So thank you, Amanda Panda, if that is your real name. All right. Well, let's go like that. Can I pop you on? I guess we'll pop you on. Christina S. Yes, I end up looking at a blank cardstock and I don't know where to begin. You should be checking out New Stamps Now What? Ding! No, in that series, that is exactly what I talk about because, as with today, I will get the stamps, right? Got them. And then I think to myself, number one, what is the simplest image in this set? That's the image you're going to start with. Number two, what are you going to do with this stamp? Are you going to color it? Are you going to ink blend over it? I try to make simple decisions before I start, but 9 out of 10 times what I do with a card, I do something that has something in the center. Now this little guy's shifted off, to the side, but I always start with one image, one sentiment, and limit my techniques, if you will. But definitely check out my new Stamps Now What series. It might help you because it is like this. I film live, but I edit it down. Otherwise, we would be here all day. And my daughter said to me, my daughter is in law school and she works part-time for a law firm. She said, please text me when you're done. Anyway, yeah, Christina, check that out and see if any of those videos help. Wait, Simon, did someone say hi to Simon? Does that mean my friend Simon Hurley is here? Simon? I wish I had the ding thing, but I can't add those in. You know what I like to say about Simon Hurley? That kid's going places. Okay, Simon, I tell you what, can't wait to see what your craft room looks like. Anyway, that is going to wrap up this session. Now, I hope, oh wait, Donna Townsend, you've been leaving some comments, so I'm going to talk to you. Now that I've made a few cards, what is my favorite type of card to make? Ooh, honestly, I think less about the sentiment, right? Because I have a ton of cards. And so I think right now, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but some of my favorite cards to make right now involve simple Copic coloring. Who knew? Would have never said that out loud before STAMPtember. But right now I enjoy the challenge of finding images to color and cutting them out, whether it's die cutting or whether it's fussy cutting, because that's not something that I would have said a month ago. Not even close. But in terms of like type of card, I think encouragement cards are my favorite because I think that is the one that I want to be sending to people in my life. I don't have a ton of friends. I mean, I send a lot of cards to my mom. But yeah, encouragement cards I really enjoy making. All right. Where did I purchase that big foam? Oh, Jelly. It's from Simon Says Stamp. There's a link below at the very bottom of the list. There should be a link for the foam tape. That stuff, I mean, it's not cheap, but I love it. I love it. All right, now let's see here. Well, I think we're getting close to the end. And, oh, are those the same size as Gina K's frames? It depends on which one you're talking about, because I do have those Gina frames. Oh, and they are wonderful. In fact, the thing that I love about that is Master Layouts 1 from Gina K. Those dies are set to create a frame. And actually, I think, I don't have them in front of me and they're buried in my stash, but it is a similar idea. And also, oh, a couple things for you today. If you like this video today, please give it a thumbs up for me. Unlike the people that gave it the thumbs down. Namaste. Gonna tell you a little story about negative comments. Negative comments are gonna happen. You know, luckily it hasn't been too bad. I mean, eventually people are gonna pick apart how I look or how I sound or whatever. Totally fine. I'm 54 years old. I kind of don't give a blank. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I do and I don't. But I have a new approach for dealing with negative comments. I'm going to respond to them. I'm going to misspell their name by one letter and thank them for stopping by. I think that's really subversive and funny. Just wanted you to know that. And I appreciate all of you for coming today. I'm going to do something like this again, these lunchtime lives. I know it's not everyone's lunch hour, but it is mine. And right now, while my husband is what's the word? Oh yeah, he's working. He's a teacher and he is back in the classroom without students, but he felt it was better to be in his classroom with all his things. So want to leave something here for you. Now let me see if I can find it. If you are looking for me in other places, well, now I can't find it. I'm on Instagram at @czdesign. I had that screen earlier. Oh, there's a good question. Good Copic color for starting. I do have some info for you on that. I'm popping this on because, oh, not that one. I recently did a video for, oh my gosh, now I can't think, Lawn Fawn. I did Copic coloring and Lawn Fawn, and that set of rainbow markers that I have is kind of my go-to set. After this video, I will add a link to that below as well, because I realized something as I have another video coming up at the end of the week that's super secret and super awesome. I use the same markers because I realize, Cathy, you know how to do a rainbow now. Here's the markers you're going to use. So I'll add that link. Anyway, but again, I want to thank you all. Be sure to hit like. If you are not a subscriber, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. I am so grateful for every single one of you because YouTube has been an unexpected joy. And I realize that I love to chat, I love to teach, and mostly I want to inspire you to have more joy with your crafting and keep it simple. So with that, I thank you all for coming, and this is the part with a live that's really hard for me. I don't know how to say goodbye. Isn't there a song? Let's just kiss and say goodbye. Thank you. With that, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you again with another Cathy Makes a Card live soon.